Something profound is approaching, and most people will miss it entirely. While everyone prepared extensively for the last eclipse, studying charts, planning viewing parties, posting countdowns, this one arrives like a whisper in the dark. It's not the spectacular total eclipse that commands headlines and draws millions of eyes skyward. This is something far more subtle, and that's precisely what makes it dangerous. The surgeon's eclipse. This September 21st solar eclipse is partial, but don't let that fool you into thinking it's powerless. Where total eclipses are like thunderstorms, dramatic, obvious, impossible to ignore, partial eclipses are like skilled surgeons. They don't destroy everything in their path, they make precise cuts exactly where you're most vulnerable. Think of it this way. A partial eclipse doesn't flood your entire life with change. Instead, it seeks out the shadows you've been hiding in, the blind spots you thought were safely concealed, the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. It arrives with surgical precision, targeting exactly what needs to shift. And here's what makes this eclipse particularly potent. It's arriving at the equinox, that delicate moment when day and night balance on the edge of transformation. The world is already shifting seasons, already recalibrating its rhythms. When an eclipse collides with this natural turning point, it creates a double pressure that reverberates through every aspect of your existence. You'll feel this collision in your body first. Sleep patterns will shift without warning. Your clarity will fluctuate like a radio searching for a clear signal. Even the smallest disruption in the sun's light disturbs the natural rhythms your body depends on, and those disturbances ripple outward like aftershocks from an earthquake you didn't see coming. The clearing before the storm. Everyone talks about eclipses as cosmic doorways for manifestation. Write your intentions, they say. Create vision boards. Dream bigger. And while there's truth in that approach, it's only half the story. Before you can plant new seeds, you must clear the garden. This eclipse isn't just interested in your wish list, it wants your dead weight gone. If you're walking into this cosmic event still entangled with energy vampires, trapped in soul-crushing routines, or clinging to relationships that expired months ago, the eclipse will strip them away. And when it does, it won't ask for your permission or wait for your readiness. This is why the days leading up to the eclipse are crucial. They offer you a rare opportunity to be intentional about what gets removed from your life. You can choose to release what no longer serves you, or you can wait and let the eclipse make those choices for you, often in ways that feel chaotic and overwhelming. Consider these questions. What invisible cords are you still tied to that drain your energy? Who remains in your inner circle despite repeatedly proving they don't belong there? Which habits are silently sabotaging your strength, operating below your conscious awareness? Delete them now, before the eclipse does it for you. But here's the twist that catches most people off guard. Sometimes what needs to go isn't toxic at all. Sometimes it's simply something you've outgrown, like clothes that no longer fit or dreams that no longer align with who you're becoming. The eclipse forces you to face these uncomfortable truths about your own evolution. The triple target solar eclipses follow a predictable pattern of disruption, and understanding this pattern can help you navigate the turbulence. They don't randomly scatter their influence. They target 3 specific areas with laser-like focus: your attention, your energy, and your future plans. First comes the assault on your focus. You'll wake up knowing exactly what matters most, then somehow end up spending your day on everything except those priorities. The eclipse shadow scatters your attention like light through a prism, creating a rainbow of distractions that feel urgent but lead nowhere. Without anchoring your awareness, you'll chase these phantom priorities instead of pursuing what actually moves your life forward. Next, your energy becomes erratic. Just when you need momentum most, motivation evaporates like morning mist. You might feel exhausted for no clear reason, or restless but unable to channel that restlessness productively. This isn't random fatigue, it's the eclipse forcing you to pause, to reconsider your direction. But if you fight this cosmic break instead of honoring it, the resistance will feel like burnout. Finally, your plans come under scrutiny. The eclipse shakes your future like a snow globe, making everything you thought was settled suddenly appear uncertain. Relationships, career paths, personal goals, all of it gets questioned under the shadow's penetrating gaze. You'll find yourself wondering if you've been walking in circles, heading toward destinations that no longer inspire you. Remember, eclipses don't destroy your path, they test your grip on it. If you don't stabilize these three areas before the eclipse arrives, it will rearrange them according to its own cosmic logic. And when the universe rearranges your life, it rarely does so gently. When boundaries dissolve. During solar eclipses, the invisible barriers that usually protect your energy field become permeable. It's as if the cosmic event creates holes in the protective bubble around your consciousness, allowing foreign emotions, thoughts, and energies to slip through unchallenged. Suddenly, you walk into a room and feel crushed by someone else's depression. You have a brief conversation and find yourself carrying their anger for hours afterward. You feel drawn to people, places, or situations that normally wouldn't affect you, as if invisible strings are pulling you toward experiences that aren't entirely your own. This isn't poetic metaphor. People consistently report heightened sensitivity during eclipse periods. The rare alignment of sun and moon seems to weaken our natural psychic filters, making us more vulnerable to energetic invasion. This is why protecting your energy isn't optional during eclipse season, it's survival. Without conscious boundaries, you'll become a repository for emotions, fears, and intentions that were never meant to be yours. You'll feel angry without cause, exhausted after simple interactions, or haunted by feelings that don't match your actual circumstances. But energy protection doesn't mean building impenetrable walls around yourself. It means developing acute awareness of what you're absorbing and from whom. Who are you spending time with as the eclipse approaches? What environments are you entering without energetic preparation? What invisible influences are you allowing to set up camp in your consciousness? Think of your energy field like a house with all the doors and windows open. On normal days, a gentle breeze might drift through. During eclipse season, it's not just a breeze, it's a storm. And storms don't ask permission to enter. Protecting yourself requires deliberate choices about access. This means being selective about company, environments, media consumption, and even the thoughts you entertain. It means recognizing when the heaviness you're carrying belongs to someone else and refusing to let it establish permanent residence in your mind. The language of dreams. In the days before an eclipse, your dream life transforms into something far more significant than nighttime entertainment. Sleep becomes a stage where your subconscious performs urgent messages, and dreams grow so vivid they feel more real than waking life. Some dreams arrive with crystalline clarity, so sharp and detailed that you wake up feeling like you've traveled to another dimension. Others come loaded with bizarre symbols and scenarios that make no logical sense but carry an emotional weight that follows you through the day. Neither type is random. Both are your deeper self communicating through the only channel that bypasses your rational mind's defenses. Dreams during eclipse season serve as psychic purges, pulling stored emotions, buried fears, and hidden desires out of their subconscious hiding places. They create symbolic theaters where your soul can process what your waking mind might resist or deny. This is why you often feel both drained and strangely relieved after intense eclipse dreams. Your psyche is literally cleaning house in preparation for transformation. But not all eclipse dreams are about clearing old material. Some carry guidance for what's coming, planting seeds of insight that only make sense after the eclipse shifts your perspective. A mysterious symbol, a conversation with a stranger, even a landscape you've never seen. These dream elements often prove prophetic, revealing their significance only after the cosmic event has rearranged your reality. This is why eclipse dreams feel different from ordinary nighttime wanderings. They carry a weight and frequency that seems stitched into something larger than your personal experience. Many people report powerful déjà vu after eclipses, encountering in waking life something they first experienced in a dream days earlier. Pay attention to these nocturnal messages. Write them down, even if they seem nonsensical. Track symbols and recurring themes, because their meaning often arrives exactly when you need it most. Sometimes your dreams aren't just personal. The thinning veil during eclipse season means you might pick up collective signals, visions connected to humanity's larger transformation rather than just your individual path. The sacred morning practice. If you do only one thing to prepare for this eclipse, make it this. Stop reaching for your phone the moment you wake up. This seemingly innocent habit is actually one of the most spiritually destructive things you can do during eclipse season. Think about it. The first moments of consciousness set the tone for your entire day. When you immediately flood your awakening mind with notifications, news, messages, and social media, you're declaring that the external world's chaos is more important than your inner wisdom. Attention is the most valuable currency you possess, and whatever captures it first owns your day. During normal times, this habit already fragments your focus and drains your clarity. But under eclipse energy, morning phone scrolling becomes magnified into something much more damaging. The eclipse takes that first moment signal and amplifies it throughout your system. If your opening signal is distraction and external noise, the eclipse will strip away even more of your internal compass, leaving you feeling confused, overwhelmed, and strangely disconnected from your own life. Remember, eclipses don't create chaos from nothing. They amplify the patterns you're already living. When you begin each day by surrendering your attention to external demands, you're aligning yourself with forces outside your control rather than your own inner truth. The eclipse simply accelerates this pattern until you can no longer ignore its effects. Instead, guard those first precious minutes of consciousness like sacred territory. Even 5 minutes of stillness, sitting with your breath, noticing your thoughts, or simply listening to silence can anchor your spirit before the eclipse energy hits. Think of it as locking your doors before a storm. It doesn't prevent the weather, but it keeps your house standing. The power of sacred silence. While most people believe eclipses call for increased action, more rituals, more manifestation work, more spiritual practices, the truth is counterintuitive. Eclipses are not about productivity. They're about alignment. This September 21st eclipse isn't asking you to force your way into transformation. It's asking you to create enough space for transformation to arrive naturally. And that requires stillness. True alignment can only occur in the spaces between action, in the pauses where your soul can finally breathe. If you fill every moment with activity, The eclipse has no room to deliver its gifts of clarity and direction. Instead, it will strip away whatever is creating your restlessness until you have no choice but to stop. Honoring stillness doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities or becoming passive. It means consciously creating pockets of quiet where eclipse energy can work with you rather than against you. Take walks without headphones. Sit in silence without reaching for distractions. Even simple deep breathing can be more transformative than forcing yourself through elaborate spiritual practices that feel heavy or performative. The eclipse itself demonstrates perfect alignment, sun, moon, and earth locked in precise celestial coordination. This cosmic alignment is mirrored within you when you allow it, but only if you stop filling every silence with motion and noise. The guardian of secrets. Ancient wisdom traditions surrounded eclipses with mystery and secrecy for good reason. What emerges during eclipse windows is often too fragile and raw for public consumption. Not every insight needs immediate sharing, and not every plan requires external validation. When you share your eclipse revelations too soon, you don't just reveal them. You expose them to other people's doubts, projections, and sometimes unconscious sabotage. During eclipse season, when energies are volatile and transforming, outside opinions can scatter the very clarity you've worked to receive. This isn't paranoia, it's energetic protection. Think about how many times you've shared an exciting plan or insight only to feel your enthusiasm drain once others added their skepticism or unsolicited advice. Eclipse energy magnifies this dynamic exponentially. Silence isn't secrecy, it's incubation. Like seeds underground, your eclipse-born insights need darkness and protection to develop roots strong enough to survive in the light. Speak too soon, and you risk exposing tender new growth to conditions that could kill it. The most powerful transformations often happen quietly, with no witnesses until they're too strong to be undermined. Guard your eclipse revelations like sacred treasure, allowing them to mature in silence until they're ready to withstand the noise and opinions of others. The cosmic amplifier. During eclipse season, your words stop being mere sounds and become energetic commands. Every sentence carries more weight, travels farther, and lingers longer than usual. This is why ancient mystics treated speech as a sacred tool. They understood that words shape reality rather than simply describing it. Under eclipse skies, this shaping power operates at maximum intensity. Words of healing, truth, and love carry like prayers, weaving protection and alignment into your path. But words of anger, gossip, or self-criticism ripple outward like poison, often returning in unexpected ways. The danger isn't only in what you speak to others, it's also in what you speak to yourself. Those casual self-criticisms, the harsh judgments you mutter under your breath, the defeated thoughts you voice in moments of weakness, the eclipse stamps all of these into your energetic field. You might think it's just venting or self-expression, but during eclipse season, your words become chains you'll wear long after the shadow passes. Choose them as carefully as you would choose the company you keep or the food you eat. The final moments. When the eclipse window finally opens, resist every urge to fill it with activity, intentions, or demands. The most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. If you want the eclipse to give you something, let it find you empty. This moment isn't about demonstrating your spiritual sophistication or showing the universe how hard you can push your will. It's about clearing the stage so the eclipse can deliver what's actually meant for you, which may be entirely different from what you think you want. In those final minutes before the shadow passes overhead, honor silence, like a sacred ritual. Let your body relax completely. Allow your breath to slow and deepen. Let the mental chatter fall away like leaves from a tree. Trust that what needs to reach you will only find you if you stop running and finally allow yourself to stand perfectly still. In that stillness, you transform from speaker to listener, from demander to receiver. You signal to the cosmos, I am ready to hear what you have to say. And in that space of pure receptivity, the eclipse plants seeds of wisdom that will bloom long after its shadow has passed, changing not just your circumstances, but the very way you see and move through the world. The eclipse is coming. The question isn't whether you'll be affected. The question is whether you'll be conscious enough to receive its gifts.